Hi, this is Jennifer Boylan and welcome to January 2026. Here we go with the new year. So we're going to start with talking about some good news. For the first time in 2 years, we have genuinely good news about the Colorado Springs rental market. The numbers show that we are on a more solid ground. 2024 was the valley. We spent 2025 climbing out of it. So as we head into 2026, the future looks brighter and we are going to be in a more balanced market. So let me show you what's happened and where we are headed. So let's talk about where we have been. To understand why this recovery matters, let's rewind to 2020 and 2021. When COVID hit, the Federal Reserve made money essentially free. The Feds dropped the rates basically to 0 to 0.25%. They pumped trillions into the economy through quantitative easing. Big institutional investors, the Wall Street players with billions in capital, could suddenly borrow at 2 to 3%. That's historically cheap money, and they moved fast. So everyone started building these huge luxury apartments, and they were not small local developers. They were entities with massive funds building at scale. They all targeted luxury apartments because the margins are huge. Building luxury doesn't cost much more. You spread amenities like a pool or a gym across hundreds of units. But you can charge premium rents, then you get to add fees like parking, trash storage, probably mail service. It's a profitable model when money is cheap. But here's the problem. Apartments take 2 to 3 years to build. Projects started in 2020 and 2021 with cheap money. They all were finished in 2024. That resulted in over 6,000 new apartment units that hit Colorado Springs in 1 year. Just to show you how extreme this is, we pulled building permit data going back to 1972. And here's what we found. 35% of all multifamily apartments in El Paso County started construction between 2020 and 2023. So in just 4 years, developers built more than a third of what took 5 decades to create. That is not normal. That is a Fed-driven construction boom. So by the first quarter of 2024, we hit rock bottom. 3 key indicators showed just how bad it got. First, the median rent dropped to $14.12, reversing years of steady growth and signaling the market had shifted. Second, properties sat vacant for 60 plus days, sometimes even 2 to 3 months. And thirdly, occupancy fell below 90%. Landlords were desperate to fill units. Some owners were offering free rent just to get tenants in the door. If you had a property vacant during this period, you know exactly what we're talking about. It was a very tough time. Fast forward to today, and we are seeing real progress. Those same 3 indicators show meaningful improvement. The median rent has moved to $19.50. That's up $538 from the bottom. Properties leasing in 15 to 30 days, that's a lot more reasonable than what we were used to pre-COVID. Occupancy at 92%, stabilizing after the struggle. But let's be clear, this is not a full-blown recovery. There is still uncertainty in the market. The political and economic environment creates instability. Market conditions can shift quickly, and what's working today may not work next quarter. And success requires watching the data every day, spotting trends before they become problems, and adjusting pricing in real time. We are constantly monitoring leading indicators and respond to shifts immediately, not months later when you've already lost rent. A 60-day vacancy costs more than a year of management fees. So the bottom line, things are better than 2024, but navigating this market successfully requires constant attention and expertise. So what does 2026 look like? The good news, the supply surge is over. In 2024, over 6,000 apartment units received COs or certificates of occupancy. In 2025, another 4,100 units came online, the tail end of the boom. But here's what matters. There are only 4,500 units still under construction. That means by late 2026, the flood of new apartments will mostly be absorbed. So what are developers planning right now? Well, new building permits tell us what's coming up in 2027 through 2028. In 2025, developers pulled permits for 2,700 apartment units. That's triple the 2024 crash, but still less than half the boom years. This is a sustainable construction pace, not another wave coming. The massive oversupply that dragged everything down in 2024, well, that's working itself out. Demand is still strong. People keep moving to Colorado Springs. But the flood of new competition is ending. By mid to late 2026, the market should feel much more balanced. How does this impact single-family rentals specifically? When that much apartment supply hit the market, it dragged everything down. Condos and townhomes took the biggest hit because they compete directly with the apartments. Single-family homes felt it a little bit, but held up better because of families wanting yards and privacy, just space. As the apartment surge ends, that downward pressure lifts across all rental types. Single-family fundamentals stay strong. We're serving families who need what apartments cannot provide. So what is the bottom line for 2026? Not the 2021 feeding frenzy where everything leased in 3 days. And it's not the 2024 struggle with 60-plus day vacancies. Hopefully just a normal, balanced, healthy rental market. And normal is actually pretty good. I like normal. The bottom line for property owners. This is a balanced market. It is not the 2021 feeding frenzy, not the 2024 struggle. Pricing matters more than ever. You cannot just throw a number out and there will be people there waiting to pay that amount. Marketing still matters. Good photos, accurate descriptions. Competitive pricing, it's all important. Quality properties lease faster. Deferred maintenance will cost you in vacancy time. Tenant retention is your best strategy. A great tenant staying is worth more than pushing for the max rent. The days of multiple applications in 24 hours are behind us. But the days of 60-plus day vacancies are also behind us. That is what a normal, healthy rental market looks like. And normal is actually pretty good. The key takeaway, be smart, be competitive, and take care of your properties and your tenants. That's the winning formula for 2026. On a housekeeping note, it is January, so we are preparing for your 1099s. So if you would please take the time to go to your portal and check your mailing address so we make sure we're sending it to the right place. We would appreciate it. So thanks for listening, and we will see you next month.